College Gym Vids fan going live on YouTube. This is autistic girl in psychiatric hospital for 8 days. And actually I'm on my Fire Stick and I'm looking at the Chuck E. Cheese website, because Chuck E. Cheese, the first Sunday of every month, they have Sensory Sensitive Sunday, where they have the restaurant open from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. on May 5th was the last Sensory Sensitive Sunday, and then like in June, first Sunday of the month, they have another Sensory Sensitive Sunday. I click on events and there's Sensory Sensitive Sundays. Chuck E. Cheese is proud to support families who have children with autism and other special needs. We offer a sensory-friendly experience on the first Sunday of every month at participating locations, opening our stores 2 hours before the normal opening time. Our sensory events include a trained and caring staff that work to ensure each guest has a fun-filled visit. We realize that the Chuck E. the Chuck E. experience can be very stimulating for any child, so our mission is to create an event that allows all kids to be a kid. In 2016, we partnered with the Center for Autism and Related Disorders, CARD, to develop the program. They showed us how to turn our restaurants into a sensory-friendly place for children on the spectrum. They also gave us training materials to provide to our staff that explains what autism is, some of the characteristics that may be observed, and useful tips for a fun morning at Chuck E. Cheese. Now, go to participating locations. So this is all on my Fire Stick at the Chuck E. Cheese website. I've actually been to more than one Sensory Sensitive Sunday, and if you YouTube search Chuck E. Cheese Sensory Sensitive Sunday, you will see some videos on here from Sensory Sensitive Sunday that I actually took, but other people have put Sensory Sensitive Sunday videos on YouTube. Is it going to load up? Oh, some of the benefits of our Sensory Sensitive Sunday event include less crowding and a quieter restaurant environment, dim lighting, the show and music turned down or off entirely, limited appearances by Chuck E., ability to order off a full menu, access to play all games and rides, all ages and siblings welcome, no admission fees. When designing this event, we took great care to ensure elements of the restaurant were toned down to be more sensory friendly for children of all ages. The sound effects and volume of arcade games are turned down or off to ensure kids can play all the games they want in a sensory sensitive manner. We also turn down the volume of the in-store entertainment show and only have Chucky come out for the ticket splash show upon request to be mindful of all children's needs. Additionally, in select locations, birthday parties can be coordinated during sensory-sensitive Sunday events. I don't know how they can say it's best kids menu and pizza. I mean, at Chuck E. Cheese, I love the chicken wings there. I love the chicken nuggets. But I hate their pizza. Here you can read about sensory sensitive Sunday in the news. Maybe it won't load up on the Fire Stick. Okay. When I posted about non-painful ways to commit suicide on Facebook, I went to Longleaf Hospital in Alexandria, Louisiana. So, the address is 44 Versailles Boulevard, Alexandria, Louisiana, 71303. And that was like a couple hours away from my home. And actually, I believe I posted the Facebook message Monday night. And then on Tuesday morning, when I was at my day program in Baton Rouge, I'm not going to say the name of the day program for security reasons. But I don't go to that day program anymore because I was kicked out of it because of my behavior. Because I had sensory issues at the day program, and a client was always making noises around me, and it bothered me. So I believe that was a sensory issue that was caused by my sensory processing disorder and my autism. And so I pulled Ronald's ear, and that's why I got kicked out of the day program. And so the police came to my day program the day after I posted the suicide message on Facebook. And at the time I was at my day program, I was shredding paper with and the cops came and the ambulance came, and I rode in the car to Our Lady of the Lake Hospital in Baton Rouge. And I was in the hospital in the TV room for waiting for several hours, and also I did, have blood taken. And then after several hours of being at Our Lady of the Lake Hospital, then somebody came to bring me to Longleaf in Alexandria, and for a while we were driving in the car, and I just had my hospital gown on. I didn't have like my normal street clothes, and this was like in February, so the weather was like real cold, real cold, and And so, like, of course, all the, like, the clothes that I wore, like, to the psychiatric hospital, or no, the clothes I wore to my day program, they were there. And actually, I didn't see them because basically, when I got to the psychiatric hospital, all my belongings, like electronic items, I didn't have access to. And my clothing I didn't have access to. And then maybe 2 or 3 days after I got to the psychiatric hospital, my mom had mailed me clothes to the psychiatric hospital. She had mailed me clothes that were like my clothes, clothes that I owned, so I would have clothes to wear because I didn't have much of anything. And when I was at the psychiatric hospital, I would eat food in the cafeteria, like breakfast food, lunch food, dinner food. And like my caseworker at the psychiatric hospital, actually, this used to be Crossroads Regional Hospital in Alexandria. Then they changed the name to Longleaf. Back to my story. When I was at Longleaf in Alexandria, I was assigned a social worker that was in charge of my case, and she was, trying to put me in a group home because of my disabilities, and I got upset about it at the hospital. And so they probably would have put me in a group home somewhere in Alexandria or near Alexandria. But I'm total anti-group home because when I was in high school, when I was in the 11th grade, my American history teacher said that I would be in a group home and that I wasn't capable of living on my own. And so ever since then, I've been anti-group home. And so, since I refused to go to a group home, my caseworker was trying to plead with my mom to take me back. And I guess my mom did take me back. I guess the social worker said, something about a mother's heart, And while I was at the psychiatric hospital, where a lot of times we were in the TV room and they had cable TV and they were watching AMC, and sometimes like The Green Mile would be on TV, which is a good movie. And then of course, sometimes at the psychiatric hospital we would watch like a movie like on Netflix, but I never had control over what we watched. And I was diagnosed as, mildly retarded at the hospital. And I was diagnosed as depressed. But I think really the psychiatric hospital just knew I was mildly retarded, because it was probably like on records or something. They probably couldn't tell it by being around me at the hospital. But like every single night we go to bed early at the hospital. We go to bed at 10 p.m. at night. And they did have soda machines at the hospital. And when I was leaving the hospital and I was discharged, I saw a bunch of kids, because they had a kids unit at the hospital too, for psychiatric hospital. But when I was there, I was around most of the adults, because I was in the adult section. And my mom picked me up when the car got to Baton Rouge, but I think there was a meeting place that was arranged. But I don't remember where my mom met me, and she was real happy to see me. And I did go back home to my parents' house. And I was like depressed about not living on my own, not having my own apartment. But actually, I don't live with my parents anymore. Hit the big red button and subscribe. Peace out, YouTube. God, this was a long video. Autistic girl in a psychiatric hospital.